Hi guys, so for Next Up Nail Artist OPI's All-Stars first challenge, we were to bring an iconic nail polish name to life. So I was super excited for this because I chose my address as Hollywood, and that name for me is super relatable. So I moved to LA in 2015, so I decided to show the expectation of your address being Hollywood and then the reality of it. So the idea here is that I'm having my Marilyn Monroe moment. So I'm on the Walk of Fame. I have a star that has my initials on it. There's also an N for nails. Paparazzi in the background, the beautiful sunset in LA, and on a red carpet. So this was my expectation hand. And then the second hand is the reality hand, and it's me broken in my Marilyn Monroe dress with my hair just destroyed. There's stains all over my dress, and I'm just doing touch-ups on a celebrity's toenails, which is the total reality of Hollywood for a nail technician. Because we think it's gonna be glamorous, we're gonna, be working in great conditions, and that's not always the case. Sometimes, most of the time, it's a luxury to even have a chair or a table for that matter. So I'm gonna go over the techniques I used to do these nails. To start the base for the Walk of Fame nails, I mixed some of Powder Perfection in Black Onyx with Alpine Snow so I can get kind of a marble effect. And then I applied it to the tip using OPI's method. And after I shaped the nail, I hand painted the rest of the marble pattern using gel in Alpine Snow. For all of the ombres that I did, I started with a solid base, and then I diluted some of the color I was ombreing with top coat and gradually worked the translucent color up the nail. I blended the line with a dry brush, cured it, and then repeated this over and over again until I worked my way up the nail and created a nice ombre. For the red carpet, I applied my Powder Perfection base coat, and after dipping in Viva OPI, I did not put on a second layer or anything. I just brushed off the excess and let it dry. And that gives it that velvety texture, so I did the same thing with the curtains. To create the texture in the curtains, I painted each fold separately, and I built them up layer by layer with top coat. And then I really wanted to make sure it had a bunch of dimension, so in between the folds, I painted a very thin layer of black onyx. So then when I put the powder on top, it showed through. To make the poles holding the rope, I took some more gold and I actually painted it on a pin, cured it, put some top coat on, cured it, and then I wiggled it off with an X-Acto knife. I did this for the base of the umbrella light as well. For the ropes, I took a little bit of thread and I painted it with Viva OPI. And before I cured it, I dipped it in the matching powder so that it would have that velvety texture, and then I cured it in the lamp and just used an X-Acto knife to cut it to the right size. To create the stars, I painted a sheet of mural on the wall on a form paper, and then I cured it, peeled it off, and cut it up into a star shape. And then I did the same thing and cut strips of Susie's Slingin' Mezcal to create the outline of the stars, and I secured them with some top coat. And I used an X-Acto knife to cut out the letters for the inside of the stars. I created the Marilyn character out of acrylic, so I built up the shape of the silhouette, and then I also did this with the film reel and the director's cut thing, so then I ended up with a nice smooth surface that I can paint on later. After all my acrylic work was dry, I flipped them all over, and then I hand painted these, and to get their hair, I cured a sheet of black onyx, and my chihuahua doesn't bite anymore. Cut it up into pieces kind of resembling hair, and then laid them down with some top coat. So I didn't want the celebrity to stand out as much as the Marilyn's, so instead of using acrylic, I painted her on a sheet of clear gel so she was a little bit thinner, and then I used an X-Acto knife to cut her out, and then I painted her gold dress on top of it. After hand painting all of the acrylic pieces, I assembled them all together using little dabs of top coat. To create the film in the film reel, I painted white gel on a form paper, but before I cured it, I made sure to fold the form paper so that it had some waves in it. Then I cut it into a nice strip and hand painted it. Then I finally attached everything to the nails using top coat, and here we are. Thank you Nails Magazine and OPI. This was a super fun challenge, and thank you for all the amazing products because I used pretty much everything for this. I'm gonna leave a link down below if you wanna go vote. And hopefully I'll see you next week if we make it through.